Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, I'm going to answer some of the most commonly questions that I'm getting on the Lenovo P2. And I've been using this device as my primary smartphone for the last 3 days. And I've been using this in the dual SIM mode, that is with my primary SIM, that is Airtel 4G, and also with the Reliance Jio. And yes, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding VoLTE support. Yes, this device does support VoLTE out of the box. And I had asked a lot of questions to you guys via the YouTube community page. I posted about that and I got over 500 comments. So I have taken down most of the common questions that I was getting regarding this Lenovo P2, and I'll be answering those questions in this video. And the first question that I was getting a lot was regarding the battery life. And yes, I agree, you will be buying this Lenovo P2 if your main priority is battery, because this one is having a 5100 milliamp hour battery. And to give you an idea, the battery life is nothing short of incredible. Let me actually show you some of the stats. It's been about 2.5 days, over 2 days, about 52 hours since I have kept it out of charge. And this is just the second cycle. So I'm hoping that the battery life might improve even further. And if I go to power, the screen on time is 7 hours 29 minutes. That's almost 7.5 hours that I'm seeing right now. And in terms of standby time, it's 2 hours and 2 days and 4 hours. So it's almost 52 hours since it was off the charger. And still I'm having 34% battery life. So needless to say, the battery life is actually really good. It can actually last for about 3 odd days. If you're a very heavy user, then also it should last you for about 1.5 to 2 days without any issues. So battery life is actually really good on this device. And in terms of screen on time, as you've seen, with over 2.5 almost days of usage, I'm still I have about 34% battery life left, and already about 7.5 hours of screen on time. So purely in terms of screen on time, if you're going to look at this device, then I feel you can easily get about between 10 to 12 hours of screen on time, and then also you'll have spare battery life. So battery life is a big thing. And second question that I was getting a lot is regarding charging time, and is it faster to charge compared to the OnePlus 3, because that was one of the claims that Lenovo was making in their presentation when they launched it. I didn't compare it side by side with the OnePlus 3. The OnePlus 3 has a smaller battery capacity, that's a 3000 milliamp hour, whereas this one is having 5100 milliamp hour. So definitely 2100 milliamp hour more. But in terms of charging time with the supplied charger, if you use the supplied charger, which is a 24 watt special charger that Lenovo made for this one, it charges really quickly. I didn't time it exactly, but it was around a 9 odd percent when I put this to charge, and I came after 1.5 hours and it was fully charged. So I'll specifically time how much time it takes, but it charges really quickly. So yes, in charging time, it is actually really quick. And again, you just can't compare directly with the OnePlus 3, because the OnePlus 3 is having just a 3000 milliamp hour battery, whereas this one is having a 5100 milliamp hour battery. So yes, for a 5100 milliamp hour battery, it's charging around 90 minutes, is actually really fast. Next, I was getting a lot of questions asking if this device supports Dolby Atmos. The sad thing is that this device does not support Dolby Atmos, but it has Theater Max. It also has that VR support. So Theater Max functionality is there, and you have to actually switch it on in the settings. Once you switch on, you get that VR mode. And now, as you can see, everything is in this dual screen. So we have that Theater Max mode on this device. People were asking me about the speaker quality. It has just a single speaker here at the bottom. It does not have a dual speaker. And I was disappointed that it does not have a dual speaker. But in terms of loudness, the single speaker is actually really loud. So you don't have to worry about it. But again, no Dolby or dual speaker setup. I also tested this one with the headphone jack, and the audio output via the headphone jack was actually very good. I tested it with the Audio Technica M50X. So I had no issues regarding that. Next, again, many of you are asking the common question about screen on time. Screen on time, as I told you, it should be really, really good. I didn't try to actually drain down the screen completely because it's a very tiring task. Easily, it should last between 10 to 12 hours of screen on time. That's my very rough estimate. Now moving to the camera. quality. Quite a few of you were asking about camera quality, and I would say it has a 13 megapixel rear facing camera, which is a Sony sensor. And if I have to compare, the camera is much better compared to the Lenovo P1. With the Lenovo P1, the camera performance was sort of rubbish, but here it's a lot better than that. But again, if we start comparing it with other devices, like the Moto G4 Plus has a better rear facing camera compared to this one. So I would say the camera is not totally rubbish, not totally great. It's sort of sitting in the middle. Some of you have specifically asked me to compare it with the Lenovo P1. So we'll look at those things. And how does it compare to the Lenovo P1? I would say this device does not feel as heavy as the Lenovo P1, considering the fact that it has a 5100 milliamp hour battery. And I would say I was very surprised when I held this phone. It did not feel that I was holding a device that is having a 5000 milliamp hour battery. So in that aspect, I would say the weight distribution has been done very well on this device. I even showed this device to some other people and I let them use for about 2-3 minutes. And when I told them that it has a 5100 milliamp hour battery, they were surprised with the weight. Also, it does last longer compared to the Lenovo P1. Again, as I've told you, the battery life is phenomenal. And that is thanks to the Snapdragon 625 chipset, because the Snapdragon 625 chipset is one of the most efficient, power efficient chipset that we have seen. Also, again, this one has a Super AMOLED screen. The screen quality is good. And again, the Super AMOLED screens help in power conservation. Also, this one has a better camera if we compare it to the Lenovo P1. So these were the main differences compared to the Lenovo P1 to the P2. More efficient, it's lighter, and camera is actually acceptable, I would say. The P1 had a rubbish camera. Also, another thing that I have seen a huge improvement compared to the P1 is in terms of the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor on this one is actually a lot better, and this is an active fingerprint scanner. You just tap on it, you don't even have to press it. You can obviously press it and it works very well. So the fingerprint scanner is a lot better compared to the Lenovo P1. As you can see, it works almost every time. Some of you have also asked me about the gaming performance on this device. I didn't do a lot of gaming, guys, to be frank. I just loaded one game as of now, and that was Nova 3, and Nova 3 ran fine. I'll definitely try to do a lot more gaming, but again, Nova 3 as of now ran fine. I'll also test with some other heavy games if you guys want that. Now moving to lag in UI and multitasking. The version that I'm using is the 4GB RAM variant, and I didn't find any issues of lagginess, or even in multitasking the performance was good. As you can see, so many apps are running. I'm using this one as my primary smartphone, and I had no problems. Also in the UI, I did not face any lags in UI. So in general, performance in UI, there was no lag that I noticed. Also the RAM management, at least on this 4GB RAM model, is done well. Now, some of you have also asked me to compare the Honor 6X versus this Lenovo P2. And I would say both of these devices are very different devices. You would go for the Honor 6X if your primary concern is just camera performance, but you'll go with this Lenovo P2 if battery life is your highest priority. So very different devices, I would say, not comparable to each other. The Honor 6S obviously has far better camera performance compared to the P2, but the P2 again has a Super AMOLED screen, and again the battery life is nothing short of extraordinary. Also, this Lenovo P2 can be used as a power bank because it does support reverse charging, and I did test that and it works. Many of you have asked me about VoLTE support. It does support Reliance VoLTE, and you don't have to use any third-party app. The native VoLTE support is there. Some of you have also asked about LED notification light. Yes, it does have a physical LED notification light. This device also, many people have asked about the virtual and the physical button. Regarding the physical button, it just has one physical button, which is this home button, and by default you'll get the virtual buttons. If you have seen my unboxing video, you saw those virtual buttons, but as of now, if you see the device, those virtual buttons are sort of disabled. I disabled it, and I'm just using this key as this home key as a physical button, and it acts as three different. For example, if I open this, if I just tap it once and leave, it acts as a back button. If I press it, obviously it acts as a home button, and if I just place my finger on it for some time, it asks as a multitasking tray. So you do have an option of between that virtual buttons and this physical button, but it just has one physical button, that is the home button. This is very similar to the Lenovo Z2 Plus, what they have done with just a single button. So I hope that helps you. And now moving to the sensors, it has all the important sensors like gyroscope and compass. I tested it, and I also tested it with YouTube 360 degrees videos. Those work. So regarding sensors, important sensors, you don't have to worry. Also, many of you have asked me, is there any heating issues with this device? With last 3 days of normal usage, as I've told you, I've been using this one as my primary smartphone. I didn't notice any excessive heating or anything abnormal heating issues with this device. The only place where I noticed that it tends to heat up quite a bit is when you charge it, because it is having that very fast charger and the back becomes really warm while you are charging. But with normal day-to-day usage and stuff, it does not heat up. And Snapdragon 625 is one of those processors that does not have any heating issues. It's not like the Snapdragon 615 or the 617. For example, the Moto G4 Plus had all those heating issues because of the Snapdragon 617. This one is having the more efficient Snapdragon 625. Many of you have also asked regarding in what formats can it shoot video. The rear facing camera can shoot video up to 4K and 1080p, and the front facing camera can shoot video up to actually 1080p. And here are some of the sample video samples that I've taken. Again, this is in artificial lighting conditions, but here you go, guys. Recording this sample video in my office indoor lighting conditions with the Lenovo P2. And this is at 1080p. It also has a 4K mode, so let's test that also. Recording this video again with the Vibe P2, but this is now at Ultra HD, that's 4K. But as this device does not have any optical image stabilization, it's not a good idea to move around when you're shooting the video in 4K with this Lenovo Vibe P2. But this is the 4K video recording in artificial lighting conditions. Recording this part of the video with the front-facing camera of this Lenovo Vibe P2, and the front-facing camera can record videos up to 1080p. And again, as you can see, this is in my office and this is in artificial lighting conditions. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the front-facing camera of the Lenovo Vibe P2, specifically in artificial lighting conditions. The audio was also recorded via the internal microphone. So these were some of the common frequently asked questions that I was getting for this Lenovo P2. I hope this video was helpful. And I would say this Lenovo P2 is sort of a niche device. I would say this is a device for people for whom battery life is the highest criteria. And if you are sort of a person who is always charging his phones almost twice a day, then you can have a look at this device. The biggest strength of this device, I would say, is the battery life. So again, I hope you found this video and the FAQ video helpful. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.